What did a school teacher say that stuck with you? Just get a freaking haircut. I kept complaining during PE that my hair was in my face. This was one of those teachers that felt more like one of the boys than the teacher. Blew my mind hearing him swear. We had a teacher like that who thought he was one of the boys. He ended up getting an ex-student pregnant once she left. He was in his late 50s while she was 19. We had one of these at my school who taught math. Always rubbed me the wrong way. He was really popular among all the students, but I just never got a good feeling around him. A year after I graduated, he was arrested and jailed for sleeping with a 16-year-old student. Some of my classmates still defended him afterwards, saying she did it intentionally and it was consensual. Lost a lot of friends, some of them close, over a lot of them being fine with a teacher sleeping with a student because it was Mr. Benjamin and he was cool. Edit, man. The amount of people who also had a sexual predator at their schools is disappointing. Do a better job of vetting teachers. School district. Oh my god, can you believe the same exact thing happened at my school? The only difference is that it was a female gym teacher and a 16-year-old boy. It was my senior year. She was well liked around the school and it was a shock to hear that, but people still wanted to defend her. Not only that, but her husband was my 9th grade science teacher and she had 3 kids with him and the kid was in the wrestling team which her husband was the coach of. So around May of 2014. She gets arrested because the kid asked another girl to the prom and I assume the teacher caught feelings and was pissed and decided to rebound with another 16 years old. The girl found out what was happening between her prom date and the teacher and told her mole who worked in the PTA, and that's how she was arrested. I believe someone had also leaked a sex tape with her and the kid onto Worldster. Crazy story. First day of science class. Many of the topics I will be teaching you this year will likely be proven false throughout your life. I love teachers that are honest with students. Simply saying something like "you'll never need to know this but it's part of the exam so we have to" is so much more likely to get me to learn something than just saying it's important. Sounds like an ace teacher. I always enjoyed the teachers with real vision. Openly acknowledging a changing world really sets up your students up for better success by showing flexibility. First grade. We were doing a math lesson. The lesson was something about drawing a circle around groups of 5 or 10 things in a picture. Then we had to count the number of things in the picture and raise our hand when we were done. I figured out pretty quickly that counting the things one by one took too much time, so I counted by tens, which were already circled, then counted the leftovers and put up my hand. I was done way before anyone else. The teacher looked at me and said something like, "There is no way you could have counted them all." So I put my hand down and made sure I was not the first one to put my hand up first during that lesson. A few minutes later she complimented another kid who had counted quickly and said that he was probably counting by fives and demonstrated how to do that. I was so angry and thought it was stupid to count by fives when it's easier to count by tens, so why not just do that? The thing is, this woman was usually a pretty good teacher. I don't know if she just didn't like me or was having a rough day or what. But I learned that day that teachers don't know everything and sometimes they are just mean. Teachers like marking your homework as much as you like doing homework. Why I don't assign it anymore. More than half the kids don't do it. The rest copy it and about 3 smart kids do it themselves and they don't really need to. When I was a kid there was a guy in my class who always aced tests and got constant good contribution in class. Very clearly smart and always understood everything that was being taught. His grades at the end of the year were always very average though because he couldn't be freaked to do homework and that ruined his report card. Not because he didn't understand but because it was literally a pointless waste of time. I remember my senior year of high school literally breaking down in tears because I was so burnt out from doing all my classes and hours of homework every day, and then of course I would have homework to do over the weekend as well. And I pretty much understood everything. I rarely struggled to grasp material and consistently scored above average to well above average on those tests you had to take that tested you on all subjects. If today I went into an interview and they said the job required me to clock in 8 hours on site, then go home and do a few more hours and also do a few hours on every single one of my days off, Oh, and with no overtime pay, I would laugh in their faces and immediately leave. He gave me this nickname. My friends still call me Bean Joe 15 years later. No way. Are you called Benjamin as well? As you can see, mine was Bonjo. No way. Mine was Banjo. Kinda fit me though, considering my last name resembles a funny sounding instrument. My teacher told me that I had a beautiful soul and mind, which I took as meaning that I was fugly and was being petted, but later on realized that it was her way of showing me special attention because I was an introverted loner. His reminds me of a science teacher I had who would do a little pre-exam ritual thingy to help ease anxiety and help students focus. She would turn off the lights and have everyone relax and close their eyes, put their head on their arms on the table, etc., and play calming ocean sounds from her computer while walking around the classroom calming, taking to us. She basically would start with saying to take deep breaths, think about your favorite place to relax, and recognize that we are all living, breathing, emotional human beings capable of love and care and with hobbies or skills outside of the course we were taking. That the exam was a simple measure to see what you have learned, not to see how smart you are, or how good you are with the topic at hand. That the outcome of the test had no impact on who you are as a human, and doubtful that it highlights our best skills or areas of expertise. The first time I experienced this, like any high schooler, my initial thought was, okay lady, whatever, but holy crap did it help. I remember one time in particular when I was struggling with the course and about to take an exam. While she did this, she stopped and calmly rested her hand on my shoulder for a moment while my head was down and seriously thought I was going to break out crying. I felt like she was in my corner rooting for me at a point where I was struggling, and I will never forget it. All through the rest of high school and university, I would rethink and try to relive that ritual before exams, and it helped me big time. Easily one of the best teachers I have ever had. What do they call someone who graduated vet school with a 2.0 GPA? Doctor, my first term anatomy professor, in vet school, telling us to stop fretting so much about the grades and worry about the knowledge. Edit, added clarification about what level of education this advice came from. My anatomy teacher was a cool dude. He'd give us little tidbits of advice before each test, ranging from, always put your shopping cart away, to you don't have to be 100% okay 100% of the time, and that's 100% okay, 100% of the time. He's definitely one of the best teachers I've had. Damn, I really needed to hear that last quote. I took Latin all 4 years of high school. I quickly realized I despised the language, but I stuck with it for the teacher himself. He alone was worth it. Our Latin class was right above the hallway with classrooms for special needs kids. One day, after it was apparent nobody did their homework, my teacher stopped class and said, "You're all taking what you have for granted, and it's inexcusable. There are several dozen kids in the hallway below you who wish they had the mental facilities to do homework." I did my Latin homework regularly after he said that. One day in 7th grade, our principal came into the homeroom class and wrote on the board $19.32 in big numbers. He got our attention and announced to the class, "This," pointing at the number, "is what you are worth. Every day you come to class, the school gets $19.32 from the state for each of you. So if you are sick, you should still come to class, go to the nurse, and get sent home. That way the school will still get its $19.32. That was the day I stopped caring about school. I'm pretty sure he was trying to increase attendance and believed what he said was positive. But when a person you're supposed to respect tells you you're worth less than a $20 bill. Have I been respectful to you? Me? Well, yeah. Are you being respectful to me? Simple words. They have guided me so much. Once you're an adult, you choose your own fate. Your mom won't control you anymore. This came from a 9th grade Algebra 1 teacher who took the time to tutor me. My mom was a anti-vaxxing, cult-following nutbag who didn't think school was important because Armageddon is coming. I was terrible at math until I met him. It's been 25 years and I think of this teacher still. I am grateful. Don't talk to mom anymore. She got tired of me asking where Armageddon was. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like this video, so all your dreams can come true.